Alright, so I'm going to show how to disassemble a Dell Inspiron model 5559. So first what you want to do is of course remove the battery. So you would slide this and the battery would just pop out. Alright, then what you want to do is remove all the screws from the bottom. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So when you remove this screw, you can actually remove the CD drive. So once you remove the CD drive, there's 3 screws underneath here. So there's 3 here. Alright, after that, what you'll want to do is remove the cover. Well, if you want to be safe, what you can do is open this up. Alright, and then hold the power button to drain any power. And then you can actually remove the keyboard next if you want. The keyboard doesn't have any screws holding it. It just has these little clips. So what you do is you get a thin tool like this, and then you go between the two. You'll see like little gaps where the clips are, and you kind of pry it like that. Pry it like that. Wherever you see the clips, just get the tool, pry it, and hold it up with your hand. Okay, like that. And then you can lift this, and underneath, so this part, it slides in like this. You slide it out, and underneath there'll be the cables. I already disconnected them, but there's the keyboard backlight cable and the keyboard cable. To remove those, you basically have to peel up this yellow tape, and then there's these little tabs here. Let me see, I don't know if I should, well, yeah, basically there's the tabs here, and you do the same thing for all these little connectors. Okay, so this is for the power button, keyboard backlight. This is the optical drive connector, and then I think this is for the trackpad. Alright, once you do that, remove all the screws. So there's 2 screws here, and then there's another 4 screws down this way. Okay? Okay, so once you remove all of that, then you can actually pop this cover off. Alright, just like that. Once you take the screws, of course, then you grab under with your nails or a pry tool, pop that up, and then kind of slide the pry tool along, and you can pop the whole thing out, just like that. Okay. Then you'll see the hard drive. I already took all the screws, but there's a lot more screws that will be under here. So, of course, there's the 4 screws holding the hard drive. Try not to mix up any of the screws because a lot of the screws are different sized. Once you do that, you can flip this little connector tab up, grab the tail here, and pull this up. A lot of times it'll get stuck here, so what you do is kind of like, you can tilt it this way and then kind of just pull this part up. Okay, be careful with the hard drive because if it's a spinning drive, it's a little fragile. Alright, set that aside, and then you'll have another screw, I believe, here, and then I believe this is part of this. Yeah, so you'll have another screw here, another screw here, another screw here, one holding the wireless card in place. Then you'll have another 3 screws down here. Okay, and once you remove the wireless card, this little black plastic piece is kind of in the way, so you can't like lift it up. So what you'll have to do is, since this wireless card has this metal piece that it's raised on, I like to use that, and then I'll kind of wiggle this while I kind of push on that lightly. Alright, then that'll come out. And then to remove the antennas, you just grab near the tail and kind of pry them away, like up that way, away from this. Okay? Alright, once you do that, you'll have to disconnect this connector as well. So you'll just grab it with your fingernails or pry tools, and you kind of just wiggle it like side to side like that, and this will pop out. These are for the speakers, I believe. Alright, and then the hardest part for removing this panel is these clips here get stuck really strong. So you kind of just have to work it. But to remove this, you basically go here. The easiest way, you start with the CD drive slot, and if you pull on it and push on the plasticky silver part, you'll see it's forming a gap here, and then you can kind of like just go around with your pry tool or your fingernail and just go around the whole panel. Okay, just like this. Alright, and you just pry it, hold this, and let's see here, it's hard to do this and make sure it's in the camera, but yeah, basically you do that, pry it, and just go all the way around. Okay, be careful when you lift it up because the CD optical drive connector is attached to this base and it's slotted through the top, so just be careful when you lift it, and also the wireless antennas. So the wireless antennas, you'll want to move aside and route it underneath the plastic so it's not on top, and then you can just lift this. This part's going to be kind of stuck for you. I left it unattached, but basically you have to kind of like work it. I like to pull here and try and like push this side over, and then once you get one side unsnapped, the other side will easily come out. But once again, the optical drive, let me see if I can show you. The cable is basically in between there, so you have to be careful when you remove it, and when you put it back, make sure that you get that cable to go back through that slot. Okay, so basically get slotted through. It'll get caught sometimes with the plastic tab. So there you go. So this plastic tab can sometimes get caught, so just make sure when you're doing it, be careful, and then make sure to get routed around. Okay, then you can see here, let me see, I might need, oh yeah, I'm gonna need a screwdriver to show the rest. Good one. Alright, so then you'll get to this, and you can see the RAM, you can see this USB board with audio audio connectors on a separate connector, the power button's on a separate connector with the cable here, the wireless antennas go into the screen, of course, then you got the LCD cable. So this I had to change the DC jack, so I'll show how to take the whole thing out, but basically the LCD cable, you flip up this little latch, then you can raise this kind of at an angle, try and route it out from here. Sorry, I don't know if it's okay, it is in view. So route the back part of the cable out so it's not caught. And then this piece is a little bit tough. Try and get as close as you can to the connector, and then kind of just pull and wiggle it, and it'll pop up like that. Okay, so the whole thing will come up. Then the fan connector, same. If you want to take that out, you just swap that out. I believe this fan you can remove without taking the heatsink off. You'd have to remove these tiny screws, and then there's a little clip or latch here that holds the fan to the rest of the plastic. Then there's the CMOS battery or the BIOS battery. Okay, and then the RAM, this is a DDR3 12800S. Okay, PC3 12800S. So there's two slots here, so if you want to change them, you can. Okay, and to remove the whole motherboard, you'd have to remove the screw here. Alright, so there's 3 more screws. So there's that screw, and then there's the screw on the motherboard itself here, and then there's one screw holding the DC jack in place right here. Okay, alright, so once you get those 3 screws out, you can lift the USB board up like this. Okay, be careful with it because it's attached to this, and be careful these cables don't get caught. So once you do that, you can actually lift the board up at an angle just like this. Okay, alright, and then once you get that up, you can actually guide the DC jack out and pop this out. Okay, so that's pretty much it. I'm gonna flip it, let you see what's underneath. There's the trackpad. Alright, and then there's not really much on the other side of the board. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I guess there is one thing. I'll show the motherboard model number in case you need that, but most likely, you can't really see it on that side, it's covered. So here you can see the motherboard model number, okay, just in case you need that. And that's pretty much it. Hopefully this video helped you. If it did, please remember to like and subscribe because that'll help me. And thanks for watching. Bye.